Welcome to round 2 of the Tasmanian Rugby Union, coming to you from North Warrane Oval, where we have just a championship division match, just the single one on the stream today. So our Division 2 teams match between the Taroona Penguins on your screen, and they'll be playing against the Eastern Suburbs Roosters. So a lot of familiar names in this team from Taroona, whose first grade team are playing out at Glenorchy. I know they were struggling for numbers a little bit this week, so there's a few players who'll play the first half here and then be heading straight across to Glenorchy to join the team. And for Easts, we have the names on the board this week, and here they are. So again, a very similar team to that we saw last week. They had a match-up last week, these two teams as well, that went very much in the favour of Taroona. So East will be looking to improve upon that. And again, lots of new players out here for Easts, and they're really a side in development, but it's great that they're still putting teams out there, and they look pretty good in their vintage jerseys. Referee Jimmy Hobden, thanks for coming out today, Jim, and he'll be the man in charge. Farrington Shield is on the line today, which named in honour of former Easts player and all-round good guy Jeff Farrington. Had a lot to do with Easts, and he also married into a family of Taroona players in the Burke family. So we don't have any Burkes on the field today, or Farringtons, but I'm sure there are some Farringtons on the sideline looking to support their beloved Easts. So looks like the teams are going to stay playing the way they're both facing at the moment. Kickoff's going to come from the man they call Kiwi, Peter Heki Takahika. He's playing, I wouldn't say in an unfamiliar position, because he played a little bit there last week, but he's wearing the number 13, but he's playing at fly half. So he'll be directing the back line and trying to keep everyone in order from that position, and a pretty handy man to have there. And he's got a raking boot on him as well, and Taroona will need to really be on top of their game if they're going to get over the top with Kiwi playing at fly half. And we're away, so the kickoff comes, taken down there by Balducci for Taroona. Runs into the tackle of Fishpool with the Mohawk there. And Salter with the first pass gives it to Smith. And Taroona just run a nice easy line. Tackle there by Fossati for Easts. And the pass goes back. Lagrange can't take it, but we're coming back for a penalty. And Taroona there with the first penalty their way. We'll see Salter kick for touch on the far side. Great view across North Warrane Oval here. It's been a really beautiful sunny morning and even the first part of the afternoon, but it's just clouds coming over. It's cooled down a little bit. Light breeze, just gusting a little bit every now and then. Shouldn't really impact on the rugby, and we've really got what I would call perfect conditions out here. Other than that cricket pitch you have to avoid in the middle there. Thomas with the throw in, one of Taroona's players who'll be heading off to Glenorchy after the first half. Suwat to Lagrange, gets it outside to Cooper. Oh, gets the one-handed pass away, and here we go. So Chaperon Tucker ducking around, stepping off his left a couple of times. And Kiwi goes the strip and rips that ball out. And it's been turned over. East now, counter ruck there. Cooper picks it up. And Taroona now have it back. So good work at the counter ruck there. I wasn't sure who that was. Might have been Salter who blew through there and won that back. Speaking of Salter, he goes to Balducci, to Fenny. We got some forwards out there. Right in the line. Nordstrom tackled and can't roll. But East player's not rolling away either. You can see the assistant there suggesting that I think Dixon for East there didn't quite get out of the way quickly enough. Just see this ball go wide. Dixon here coming across. It was a head contact. Just see, he went really high, and Fenny's head just got him fair in the face. Those are the ones that we see at those international levels where players cop a card for not getting their body height low enough and causing that head contact. Hopefully, Tom Dixon there, you can see him in the middle of the screen with the grey hairs okay, and same with Fenny. Nice throw there. Thomas gets the ball to Ashby, and now the ball comes out for the backs for Taroona. And the try scored, but will come back for the knock-on. Had the numbers out wide there, Taroona, but Chaperon Tucker just couldn't hold on to that pass. I think he just had his eyes up and was counting on getting that score. And we'll come back for the scrum. Just see Kiwi in a position there, just disappearing off the left of your screen. I suspect that he will be kicking out of here. And Taroona will need to check their line. Big open blindside here, though. If Dupree in the halfback position for East puts his eyes up, he may be able to get out this side and run it out of the 22. Very similar jersey colours today with the white and blue hoops and the white and maroon hoops. And that scrum's gone down. A lot of pressure from Taroona. That far side there with Fenny from Taroona and Donnelly going down, but there was like Donnelly met well there. This side Enright seemed to be driven back by Smith, and that slight rotation on the scrum caused the collapse. And again, you can see good position there. Kiwi right back on his own try line. He'll need a good pass from Dupree if he's going to get this ball out of here. Great communication there by Hobden, the referee, and Taroona put the drive on. This ball needs to come out quickly. East lock it up now. They need to get that out. Dupree fishes it out, and he gives it around to the right. He finds Leonard, who gets a big kick downfield. It doesn't go out, and Taroona are there to take it. Suwat goes wide and finds Inglis, and there's some space out there, but a really nice tackle made by the defenders from East. And that ball's going to be locked up. So some good defence. I think that tackle back there was a really nice one by Drysdale for East, just to stop Taroona getting around the outside. And then the ball came and was held up, collapsed maul. So some good defence out there by Kiwi. Been busy. And East will have the scrum put in. So 5 minutes in, 5.5 minutes, locked at 0 apiece. It's interesting to see just a straight deep line there in the back line for East. So yeah, good effort for their forward. They just collapsed on this side here. Not good shape. You can see Fenny now on this side, and Enright not quite getting it right. Fenny's feet, looking at his feet, looks like he slipped there. And take the time to make sure this scrum sets. They haven't been very stable so far. And Hobden just coming to this side to make sure these two props get it right. Fenny needs to get his body height down a little bit lower. And in the end, Taroona win that one. So ball comes out to Suwat. He decides to go blind. He's got Inglis out there, but the defence gets up. Drysdale slips, but some good defence again there from East. They nearly steal that ball, but it gets picked up. And Taroona drive that forward. Jack Hardy with that drive. And now Thomas caught behind the gain line. So some good rushing defence by East so far. Ball comes out. Lagrange now to Smith. He goes to Suwat in a great gap. And he steps one way, but the ball's called forward. Whoa, that was a great move and a great line run there by Suat. We'll probably catch that on the replay as it comes out while they set this scrum. Just a good move here. Was in the phase after this one. The ball came fairly quickly here. Solder got it. Pushes his forwards through. And this pass here, gee, it was close. And Suat was through as well. He passed the fullback. So disappointment there for those guys. Gives East another opportunity though, still in their defensive half. They lost their last scrum. They'll need to work hard on this one. All right, the ball's coming in now. Dupree kicked through. Need to be careful there. And Kiwi goes the boot. Shapper and Tucker gets under it, takes it easily, and he's got some space, and he's got some pace too. Steps off the right, steps one way, steps the other. He's going to get run down. Nice work in defence there. So good chasing by East's defenders. And they take Taroona down about 25 metres out. Balducci, ball in two hands, going both ways, but loses it. And again, the defence is good, but high tackle. So I think that was the tackle way back on Shapper and Tucker, just over his shoulder as that tackle happened from behind. All right, the line out. Taroona throw, 15 metres from East's line, and it's been lost and knocked on. Good pressure at the line out there from East. Jumping player in there, Acentic, I think, possibly, in the number 4, getting up, causing some problems. So a scrappy game so far. East's defending vigilantly and putting the pressure on Taroona, who just haven't been able to capitalise on all of this possession. Scrum last time was a lot better. Taroona getting the pressure on there through Thomas, but Dupree now to Kiwi. Kiwi throws the dummy, boots it downfield, doesn't find touch. Inglis will pick it up. He's got Shapper and Tucker in the middle of the field. And he's got Wright out wide. So the pass from Wright just goes in front of Cooper. And again, some solid tackling, great defence out there. Caden Bryan had a ripper of a game for East last week, and he's showing the way there in defence. Harry Thomas gets past the first defender and then gets hit very solidly by Kiwi. Ball comes now. Lagrange. Balducci's got space. Hangs onto it. Finds Nordstrom on his outside, and he's got a paddock in front of him. Shapper and Tucker out there again. He's been busy. Sniped from behind again. So his stepping's been excellent. This time, Solder goes around, finds Inglis, gets met in a good tackle. Nordstrom now looking to pick and drive. And goes close, but loses the ball. And we got another penalty against East in defence. So the pressure's really mounting here. Taroona might look for a tap. Solder decides to go for touch. And Taroona will have a line out on the 5 metre, looking dangerous. Again, Thomas with the throw. Balducci right at the back there in the number 18. Could look to go over the back. Instead, they go for Graham, but he can't catch it. And Suat goes through untouched. So some great work there by Pun Suat with the ball in his hands. And he goes through and puts on a 5-pointer under the posts. And Taroona finally managed to put on some points after having all of the possession. Really well done. Ran that ball to the line with it in 2 hands. Leonard Defending got up quickly on the outside looking for the pass, but there was no one defending trailing on the inside. And Suwat scores a really nice one under the posts, which will give Lagrange, or next to the post, Lagrange the opportunity to kick and put 2 points on. And send that score to 7-0. Just a quick kick here, and it's good. So we see Taroona take the lead. He still want to get this ball down deep, I think. A nice deep kick over the back here to put Taroona on the back foot would be good, and just some good field position would be helpful for Easts too. They've spent the entire time so far in their own half of the field, which can be tiring. Okay, we return to play. Kiwi with the kick. He goes shallow, giving his team something to attempt to compete, but Nordstrom takes it and breaks the first tackle, gives the ball off to Fenny, who rolls in the first tackle, gets it to ground and dishes it back. Sultan now will look for the next phase of forwards here. Nice pod. Good contact made by Dixon in the end on Smith. And now they go wide. Suwat stepping, gives it off to Cooper. Gets the fend. Some nice contact from Leonard coming in quickly on the defence. But Taroona recover. And Graham has a run. Thomas now clearing it, making sure that Salter can get his hands on it. And the ball comes to Suwat, but he can't take it. Now Balducci. It's a big runner through the middle of the field. Takes 2 to get him down. And they go right again. Ball goes out, and he's been a speedster today so far. Chaperon Tucker with the ball in his hands, and I think lost there by Nordstrom. No, dished it off. Yes, we've got a problem. Just Nordstrom there in the contact, losing that one. Oh, I think we've missed it. Oh, no, we're not just running into the back of players. I think Nordstrom actually managed to dish that one off. But Taroona player in an accidental offside position in front of the ball there, so hence the scrum that we'll see here going to Easts. So good pressure. Good ball movement by Taroona, getting it out wide, trying to find some space. But the cover defence from East has been really good. Ball comes in, Dupree. Comes back easily. Good scrummaging there by East, and he flicks it out. Kiwi with the boot. Doesn't find touch again. Oh, and it looks, assistant flag went up, so it looks like he did find touch. And I'm guessing there that Inglis must have had a boot on the line. Did a really good job to take that, did Inglis, actually. And here he goes, flicked it back inside. Ball won by Taroona at the line out, and Thomas dishes it off to Suwat. To Balducci, give him some space, and he's so hard, but that's a great tackle in defence out there. Well done by Caden Bryan. Ball moved quickly by Taroona. Cooper now needs to look outside him. Good contact from Leonard. Cooper pushes that ball to Wright, and Wright can't take it. So Leonard coming across and covering and making some good defensive efforts, keeping his side in the game. Taroona just getting bunched up a fair bit out there. As they come across, there's Cooper, I think, with that ball needed to straighten up and pass. Instead, he's ran across really into the space of the 2 players outside him. Could have passed that a little bit earlier, and Taroona would have had a little bit more space. I think Leonard might have then been taken out of the defensive line too, because he would have had to focus on Cooper. So another scrum to Easts. Beautiful view right in front of our camera. And managed to get that ball back. Just rake it out. And Kiwi looks to kick. cops some pressure and gets it out. Big high jump coming from Enzo Balducci here. Just going back on the replay. Good work by Kiwis. Very, very game aware here. He knows what's happening. Doesn't allow that kick to be smothered and gets it away. Gets his team outside their 22. All the way over the back to Nordstrom, who runs at the line and no defenders and passes it. The back line weren't quite onto it. Were very deep and they've turned it over again. So East now with the ball. Fishpool takes that into contact. Gets some support on the ground by Drysdale coming in and securing it. And Fasadi goes for a run. And the hands on the ground. So a penalty the way of Easts will allow them to kick out of here. Kiwi makes 15 metres or so. And a little bit of breathing space gives Easts the set piece opportunity just inside their own half. Probably 6 or 7 metres from the halfway mark. You can see the 10-metre line there, the dotted one. Good view of the bench there. A lot of beards on that bench for Easts. See Mark Whitfield, Phil Barry, Chris Barr, and I think Zach Duggan and Trent Oldham. They're all beards, and all forwards over there on the bench at the moment for East. Taroona now win the ball. They go wide. Cooper straightens up, runs into the tackle. He needs to hang on to this one. Leonard also needs to be careful coming in there with the shoulder. And Taroona dropping the ball again. Good cover defence again coming across. Leonard putting the pressure on, but Cooper probably needs to look outside him and use the players who've got a bit more space. Just watch Leonard coming in here as the second man. Just that pulling his left elbow down there in contact. And that's need to be wary of that. Again, good defence from East, just putting the pressure on and forcing the mistakes. They'd really love to be able to get this ball down into Taroona's half and have some attacking opportunities. And unstable scrum again, just not quite ready. Dupree holding it up, not wanting to put the ball in. Again, taking their time. Some nice guidance by Hobden, making sure that the props on this side get it right. Bit of a hard drive on there in the contact in the set. But East again, it's a messy scrum, but they managed to win it. Dupree manages to just get it out. And well checked there by both players. You can see Salter wanted to get that ball, and Kiwi was going to boot it, but he pulled his boot. And unfortunately, it's turned the ball over. And Taroona now have it in an attacking position. They want to get the ball out quickly. There's no contact, no contact at the ruck. And they're going to hold Suat up, but he gets it back. Nordstrom picks and drives. If they don't take him down now, he'll make it. Looks like he's dished the ball off with the pop pass again. Ball goes to Cooper, who's close to the line, and he takes it over. So he's had the ball a lot. Jacob Cooper in the number 13 for Taroona. He's really put the pressure on. Some good hitting, and out there with some support, finally manages to put a try on. Excellent pop there from Nordstrom to find his teammate in Harty, and he went to ground. And nice dish out there from Lagrange to find Cooper with a little bit of space, just enough to go over the line with a couple of defenders on him. And Taroona put on their second try. And it's a tough day so far for East. They've defended really, really well. They're straggling across the field, making sure to get players in numbers at the defence. But when you've been playing 22 minutes and you've practically had zero possession, it's really difficult to get points on the board. And Taroona, conversely, are just starting to settle a little bit in their gameplay rather than rushing too much. Kick coming from out wide. Lagrange just misses away to the right. So the score will stay at 12 to Taroona and 0 to the Roosters. And we're back. So the kickoff from Kiwi, taken overhead by Nordstrom and tackled really nicely by Fishpool. He's been busy in defence today, Fishpool. He's played really well. Smith there likes to take that first ball off there, and he's going to lose it here. Great work. Penalty hasn't come. Somehow managed to get that back. And Suwat with the wonky kick puts the ball back into East's half. And I think he was probably hoping that might go a little bit deeper. But he did. There were no one really chasing, no one onto that. So the ball going out probably works in the favour of Taroona. And East will throw the ball into the line out 10 metres inside their half. Again. Ball being thrown in by Enright and taken down nicely. Kiwi goes across the field. The one-handed attempt to catch there by Brian fails, and Suwat goes through. And look, he's got Rob Holmes out on the wing there, who steps off his right foot. And the mistake there by Easts. Caden Bryan unable to take the pass, sees Taroona score an easy one by Robert Holmes. Lots of space out there. Defender couldn't get hands on. Look, there he is again. I'm going to just have to mention Kyle Fishpool with the Mohawk there. Just chasing really hard. His defence has been outstanding so far today. And the conversion's good. So that lead now after East defending well and the scoreboard staying at 0-0 for quite some time. Taroona have put on 3 tries. That one particularly easy one for them with the knock on from Brian. So I'll need to be particularly onto this. Again, I think that the better opportunity here for East is to try and get the ball as deep into Taroona's zone as possible, so that they have to work a little bit harder to get it out, start thinking about playing a slightly more defensive game, because thus far it's been all defence from East and Taroona have had all the possession. Fenny now takes it and tackled nicely. Good chase by Enright. So the pressure's there on the kick from East, but Taroona are just getting beyond the halfway line way too easily. So Thomas will take this ball in. Taroona go deep and kick long, and there's no one on that side of the field. Yes, there is. It's Drysdale. He takes the ball nicely, and we're going to come back. Players in front of the kicker by the look of it, and a penalty to East. So first real attacking opportunity here for East. Got a penalty, tapped by Enright, and he goes for a run. He meets some solid defence. Aidan Fenny and Ed Nordstrom take him to ground. And the ball comes out now through Warren. But it's dropped. And we'll see a knock on. That ball's going to be the way of Taroona at the scrum. So good field position for East there, but just being let down a little bit by their execution. Taroona with the scrum here. Salter to put the ball in. Haven't had many scrum feeds to Taroona because they've had almost all the possession. And again, now scrum goes down. Just wait for the players to get back to their feet to reset. Plenty of resetting of scrums today. Soaks up a little bit of time on the clock. And they'll reset. Pretty good work by the East front row. They've been under a lot of pressure and just engaging too early that time. Salter goes the quick tap, finds the space, finds Suat, who gets past Kiwi but doesn't get past Leonard, who's tackled really well in defence. And it looks like he's moved into maybe an inside centre position, which will be good for them for defence. Balducci has a bit of a rampage up the field. Hardy is the first one to get there. And this case here, Salter goes for the quick pickup, and Balducci still had his hands on the ball. Gets knocked on. And again, we'll see another scrum, and that scrum will be fed by East. So 10-metre line, but now East again back inside their defensive half of the field. Love to see Kiwi roost this ball downfield into the corner. Good opportunity. He's got a big kick. He might go for the 50-22 from here. There's no Taroona winger deep on this side of the field, so it's a great opportunity. He decides to go to Drysdale on the other side, though, and he's hunted by the defenders and caught well behind the gain line of that scrum. And the counter ruck is good, but player in the ruck there picking it up. So Salter, they'd nearly counter rucked enough there, but Salter can't pick that ball up. Although he did, and he's penalised for it. And Kiwi now with the kick downfield takes his team inside Taroona's half just. And the ball comes in, and it's won by East. Ball goes backwards. Now comes and finds Fossati, who has a good run, but Balducci steals that. And we're going to come back for the original knock-on at the line-out, which came from the hand of Taroona. So yet another scrum. I've lost count of how many we've had. And again, this one is put in by East. Ball comes in and a good drive by Taroona, but East get it out. Kiwi this time with the ball. Dummies. Runs into Suat, who just stands up and doesn't really put much of an effort to tackle on. And good forward movement here by East, but they take their time to get to the breakdown. And Fossati now puts it back. Enright runs across field, pops that ball back, and a nice little run through by Acentic. He knocks it on as he hits the ground. And another scrum. Taroona with the feed inside their own half. A deep setup out there for Taroona in their back line. Just suddenly picked up our effects mic. Be able to hear a little bit more than just my voice. Be good to see Taroona really push this ball out wide. They go blind though. Salter's got some space and he's got Holmes outside him. Holmes looks on his inside for Solder, who's got space. They're going to track him down. They catch him. He can't get the pop away. He gets a deep pop back, though, and it's taken by East. So good defence, cover defence again there by Brian. But I think we've lost that one. And the pressure comes from both sides. Chaperone Tucker picks that up. He gets taken over the sideline and drops it at the same time. So it's all happening down here. Ed Solder taken down in the tackle. Ball was somehow turned over there. And I don't know how it ended up back out in the hands of Chaperone Tucker. It's a messy game. It's all happening though. And the cover defenders down there just having a little bit of a rest before they get back up. They've had to do plenty of it. Enright with a beautiful throw down there, lost. And Nordstrom takes that on the back of the line out though. And easy as you like, runs 4 metres and puts the ball down. So disappointing there for East. The cover defence was great. The line out throw looked really good, but just a little bit high. Nordstrom read it best. And Taroona take a 26-0 lead coming into the very, very back end of this first half. All too easy, that one for Nordstrom. And I think the East players, after basically spending 30 of this 33 minutes defending, are pretty tired on their feet and didn't react to that quickly enough to stop Nordstrom just scoring off the mistake at the line out. So we'll be looking forward to the half time, I think, here, East. They've come back. Kick to come. And that one's good. So we move out to a 28-0 lead. The Grange with 3 conversions out of those tries that have come. Maybe 4 conversions actually out of 5. Sorry, out of... Ball comes down and taken overhead by Nordstrom. I think he loses that one as he hits the ground though. That's right, 3 conversions. Just can't count. We'll come back to the scrum. East's here again with the feed for about the 30th time. And they win it. Kiwi now dishes off to Leonard. Like to see him have a run. Steps, gets past the first tackle, but taken to ground. Pressure's on, but comes out quickly. Now Enright breaks the first tackle of Hardy and goes through, but he's under a lot of pressure there from Aidan Fenny, and they're going to lose it. Great pressure there. Just see Max Acentic, I think, in the number 4 coming through. Didn't really put enough pressure, didn't put a good hit on Fenny. He had his weight over the top of that ball, and Taroona win the penalty. Salter with the boot takes the ball down to the halfway mark. Taroona will have a line-out throw. Waiting for the play now. Thomas still here in the hooker position with the throw. Goes over the back, probably not very straight, and Nordstrom knocks that one. East will have an opportunity here with the advantage from the knock-on, and Fasadi's been good in the back half of this half. Dish the ball off now to Zach Duggan, who gets hit, and we'll see Cleghorn coming around from an offside position trying to play at that ball. Very new to the game. Cleghorn, so just not quite aware of how the offside rule works at the ruck. And ball's kicked. Jared Burke out there, one of the relatives of the Farringtons, who today's shield is named after, just taking that ball. I think he's playing some other code of sport this year. And the tap comes down, ball out to Kiwi, takes it himself, goes to the line. Suwat puts his body on the line that time, gets shoved out of the way, and Balducci decides, I'll have it, thank you, and takes it for another 5-metre run. Ball taken, and Chaperon Tucker's away here. Got past the first tackle. He's got the pace. Good chase by Drysdale. Dives, but unable to take him. Chaperon Tucker smart enough to get the ball to the posts to make the kick easier. And I've been waiting for him to get around the outside. He hasn't quite had the opportunity. The cover defence has been too good for him a few times. But this time, once he gets around that first tackle, he can see that there's no one in front of him. Great chasing by Drysdale coming across. And guess who coming in at the last? Fishpool doesn't give up, takes him all the way to the posts. But an excellent try there to George Chaperon Tucker, who's had a couple of opportunities early with the ball in his hand and caused a bit of a handful for East's defenders. This time he manages to get the 5 points. And the conversion's good. And that is half time. So Taroona running away with it there, just finding it a little bit too easy to score tries, particularly throughout the middle of the of that half. East defended really well for 10 or 15 minutes, and after the first points were put on, Taroona scored three tries really quickly in a row, and then came back with another 2 late in the half. And they're now quite comfortably ahead there, 33-0. The teams will go to the half-time break and try and regather, and East will need to decide and see how they can come out and maybe put some points on the board. We'll take a break here too and be back with you shortly. Go back here for the second half. It's a long road for Easts from here, running up the hill a little bit. There's a tiny little bit of rain in the air. Hopefully that won't turn into anything more. But Taroona, it's been all their way so far, other than maybe the first 10 minutes where it was 0-all and Easts managed to maintain their defence. Here we go. The kick comes. It looks like it's not going to make 10. It's taken by Enright, and East play on. Solid contact. Sees Enright come into the halfback position. Just running across field. Looks like Phil Barry out there now in the number 16. Good to see the cavalry's arrived for Easts. And Enright decided he's going to take this ball himself. Not released, and he goes the quick tap. He's got his coach Chris Barr just with him as well. Ball comes back now. This man's been busy all day. Played a really solid game so far, Kyle Fishpool. And another penalty. So East have come out firing, and they want this match. And we're going to listen to the referee. We can't hear him, but I'd say what he's saying is multiple penalties in a row here, 3 of them. Let's tidy it up. And Kiwi's got the ball, and he's going to put the ball out. Oh, good jump down there by De Beer, but not able to take it. And this is the first true attacking opportunity that Easts have had in the whole match, and it's 1.5 minutes into the second half. So they've decided they are not going to lie down and die, and I wouldn't expect that from them anyway. And this man with the ball in his hands, Enright, he's been instrumental in getting them to this position. They'll want to win this line out though. Ball goes to Fishpool, beautifully taken. Dupree runs across field. Kiwi now, dummies, but taken. And support comes in. Unfortunately, Eddington unable to take that one cleanly, and it all comes to a knock-on, and Taroona will have an opportunity at their scrum to clear the ball out of this defensive end. Unfamiliar defensive end for them too. Scrum now to go down. A couple of new front rowers out there for Easts. Barr on this side. I would say Barry on the other side. And it's a good drive. Taroona lock it up, and Inglis dishes off to Lagrange, who kicks long. Ball gets to close to the 40-metre mark, 10 metres from halfway, and bounces out. And I'm just getting a delivery here. I heard this is called Rooster Eats. Sausages and onions and ciders, it's all happening out here. Great hospitality. Thanks to Christy Mason for doing the long run. So excuse me if I have to commentate with a full mouth. Enright with the throw. Doesn't find his target. And Taroona managed to eventually recover it. Again, some good tackling happening in here. And East doing this half what Taroona did to them and locking them down in this bottom corner. But they go quickly. Suwat goes with a wide pass. Finds De Beer, who gets well tackled and loses it. So the pressure is on, and East have come out to play in the second half. So there's the replay. Cut back to the game, and Easts with a put into the scrum. That's a familiar phrase. It's time we'll see the back of Dupree as he puts the ball in. Not very straight. And he goes around to the far side this time. Won't get very far, but good driving out there. I think that's Caden Bryan having a run. He's need to get that ball out. In comes Fishpool, dishes it off to Wiggy, who gets driven back, and he gets it off to Bari, who decides to get on the front foot and make some metres for his team. Now the ball comes. Tamua now on the field. Lakey Tamua, good to see he's here and playing. He was named in the run-on team, but wasn't here as yet. And East putting some phases together. Kiwi directing out in the fly half position. See Suwa there for Taroona down on his haunches. Better get up because the ball may come this way and they might have to defend. And Tamua throws that ball back. But it's knocked on and Kiwi comes in and makes a bit of a meal out of Aiden Cleghorn, who runs into him very upright. And it's been deemed high. Surprised. I think he was too high, but all's well. Grunge taking a look. Yeah, let's go for a run, he says. And Suwa has Climby on his outside, who gets the ball off to right. And he dishes it off nicely because he was going to get driven over. And the old man, Jeremy Climby, back on the field, hasn't played in a while. Gets back in and dishes that ball off, but it's a forward pass. So the mistakes there. Inglis, I think the look on his face tells you what he thinks of that ball being forward. We'll have another scrum to... Light rain continuing just to fall here. It's not really going to have an impact on the play, I don't think. Might make things a little slippery, but ball pops out. Inglis is onto it. He finds Balducci. He's got Wright on his outside. Wright now needs to put the afterburners on. Does he have him? He gets tracked nicely out there by Drysdale, who takes him down, and Wright drops it. And Dupree gets back to cover. Oh, he's kicked the ball across field. Straight into the hands of Rob Holmes. You wouldn't believe it. Dupree trying to clear with the kick, which was a great option. But Taroona's backline had come down the field and that ball landed in the arms of Rob Holmes. He had to run onto it a bit. Just great tackle. Look at the textbook tackling from Scott Drysdale. Ball's turned over. Dupree goes, I need to get out of here. And Holmes, thank you, sir. Catches that one on his chest and finds his way over for a try. So that's really disappointing there for East. They've played so well in the start of this half. Had the ball up the other end of the field. And just lose it there. Dupree probably needed to kick the ball back to this near side to try and find some touch. But unfortunately, he couldn't spot those Taroona players out there, and he's landed it with Holmes. Gives Lagrange another kicking opportunity. And it's good. 5 conversions for him. Score is 40-0. Dog Cam doing a good job down there. Excuse me, snacking in between comments. Ball comes now. Fenny takes it on the chest and drives forward. Gets past Fishpool. Runs into Barry, who doesn't let him go any further. Barry's going to have to roll away. Fenny knows. Fenny held on to him. And Barr and Hardy there having a nice little tussle on the side. Very cunning work in there by Aidan Fenny to hang on to Phil Barry's arm so he couldn't roll out. And he milked that penalty very nicely. And Inglis will kick this one for touch. Just watch, look, Fenny on the air, on the bottom, won't release the arm of Barry. And Hobden couldn't pick it. And so the penalty comes to Taroona. Ball now not straight. Taken by Summerfield in his first senior grade game. In the number 19 there for Taroona, but that's not straight. So we'll come back and East will have a line-out throw. But it's tapped down by Taroona. Taken in the end there by Clayton. And well spotted there by Balducci. Nice timing. Just waited there for the ball to be picked up before driving. And he takes Tamua backwards. But East maintain the possession, and Kiwi ducks one way and ducks the other, and has a laugh about it at the same time, as we come to expect. Warren now to Eddington. Haven't seen a lot of Eddington. He needs to get his hands on the ball a bit more. He's able to ignite something for Easts. Oh, great dual tackling there from Taroona on Warren, but the ball comes back and ends up being lost. Take a look at the tackle there from together. A couple of young players there, Summerfield and Ashby, showing the older fellas how it's done. Shoulders in, heads down, good leg drive, and in the end they've forced the turnover as Taroona get the scrum put in 10 metres from the halfway, right next to the cricket pitch. Gotta love playing rugby on a cricket pitch. Great drive at the scrum there from East, but Taroona managed to lock it up. And I don't know who that was in the bottom. I think that was Ashby who's raked it out with his hand. He's allowed to pick it up, but he's not allowed to stay bound and pull it with his hand. And good pressure from a very now experienced East's forward pack. Kiwi goes to the kick though. Oh, he has found touch too, and that is a ripper of a kick. So another good attacking opportunity here for the Roosters. Check out there's Darcy Butler wearing a tie. Darcy looking pretty sharp up there. I think he normally would be playing. I think he copped an injury last week, although he came back on after that. So ball lost though there by Easts, and comes into the hands of Clayton, who needs to be released. And eventually they release him. There's a bit of a scuffle on the ground behind the play there between Whitfield and Fenny, and Taroona now driving on, but I think they've lost it, and we're going to have a penalty. The players haven't heard, and the fight's on here. Really going for it. Enright, I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but someone took offence to something that Paul Enright did and gave him a bit of one to the back. I think it was Balducci. And then Fenny came in, so this is all happening. Just see, some punches thrown over there by Enright on Hardy. Don't know what Jack Hardy did out there, but yeah, certainly could see some punches being thrown. And we've got an assistant referee out here who's directing and giving some advice, but I don't know. Third man in is often the one who gets penalised here, and I'd say Enzo Balducci came in from behind. Aidan Fenny came in too, but there was some, certainly looked off the side of the screen like some punches being thrown. Just deciding what's who needs a talk. We'll let them. So, wise discussion here from Jim, and you can see just there, he's not going to put up with any arguments. Enright having a discussion about what's happened. He's obviously been hard done by somewhere because something upset him. But in the end, no cards shown at this point. And both teams just going to gather and try and settle down. The score's 40-0. It's not the kind of game where it's close and players need to be tense. This is something where everyone needs to just calm down and enjoy their rugby. It's good to see some passion though, and that is important. So back into it. The penalty goes to Taroona after all of that. Could have really been a penalty either way in the end from all of the scuffling and the extra players coming in. But great line out jumping there from Fishpool. Excuse me, my voice, losing my voice. Penalty. Smith now coming in. I'm not sure why he talking to the referee. But the ball comes to the Roosters. It's been kicked, but not from the right place. We won't have to see that kick again. Game just getting a little bit out of hand. So Hobden asserting his authority here again, which is great. Players need to play to the rules and to how he's adjudicating them. And just a little tap over here. We'll see another opportunity for Easts to throw the line out in. They've been good. These Fishpool has been a tower in their line out for them. Certainly since they changed to throwing to him, it's been very, very good. Enright's throws are great, but Graham gets up and taps that one down. I think it's probably off Taroona, and Enright mimics the quick throw. Good to see he's got a smile on his face after a bit of some heated play. That's what we like to see out here. And the throw comes up, but again won by Taroona. And taken by Inglis. Good pressure by Barry coming in. He's got to be careful coming around offside now. I don't know what Smith is doing, taking that ball. He nearly collected his own kick there. And the quick line out's been played. And away we go. So East now, they really need to get this ball over the line. Dupree to Kiwi, runs back into some traffic. Dishes it off to Whitfield. Some good rucking here from Taroona, but picked up by Enright. He's been fired up this half, and he's been really good with the ball. Knocked on there. We might almost see a yellow card here. Fenny's come in a little bit late on that ball. Kiwi takes the quick tap. They're going to struggle to stop him this close. He pushes one over, pushes two over, and with Manny Summerfield attached to his legs. He falls over and scores a try. So great persistence by the Roosters to finally get over and score a 5-pointer. Again, quick taps here. Taroona not getting back, too busy arguing with referees. And Summerfield there, learning what senior rugby's like. Big fella in Kiwi running over the top of him. And good to see some points on the board there for Easts, while Kiwi takes the kick. All right, so the kick is missed. Taroona bring it back slowly. Just allows a little bit of calm maybe to come back into the game. Suat now with the kick on the pitch. And it goes really high. It's a great kick. It's very short, but not quite over where his forwards were. And Eddington takes it and slips the first tackle. And he and Fenny have a bit of a wrestle for the ball, and Eddington wins. Ball now comes. Warren runs across field, straightens up eventually, and some support arrives through Leonard, who's been good in his first game today. Solid contact there on Tamua. Hangs onto the ball though, puts it back. Dupree now looking. He's got Barry, who catches it on the rebound off his own chest and gets himself to ground. He drops it as he hits the ground, though, but he might have got away with that. I think he will. Enright now. Takes 3 to take him down, and he pops it off to Whitfield. Just again, Eddington there. Bit of commentary, having a smile on his face, talking to the opposition. Good, again, good to see. Kiwi runs through. Suwok puts a bit of contact on him and just slows him down enough to let some cover defence get to him. And East driving forward. Where was this play in the first half? They've got some older guys, some experienced players out on the field leading the way. And Enright roosts one down. And the ball goes out. Puts Taroona in a deep, deep defensive position with the ball to throw into the line out. We often get a bit of a cheer from the odd car driving past around the top of the road there. Just hear someone honking as they go past. Ball comes back. Inglis has got it. Goes the kick around the corner, and it's a good one too. Really well done by Inglis in his own in goal to get that ball out and close to the 20-metre. And we're going to have some time to stop here. Injury time. Leonard limping off out there for Easts. Getting off quickly. He's been replaced. They're getting a little bit short on the backs, in the back line are Easts. Lachlan Faulkner there in the number 22 we just saw for Easts. And the line out will come eventually. Barry with the throw. And he hasn't won it. And Graham's just hit it a bit far. Barry quickly onto it. But Graham, he had a lot of time on that one. He could have tapped that a little bit more gently. But the ball didn't find Inglis and eventually found touch. where East will get another attempt to throw it. Copping a bit of wind on our effects mic down there. Throw goes in and won by Taroona. This time Hardy gets his hands up before it hits the ground and manages to snatch it out of the air. And we might see a yellow card here. Barry's really driving in dangerously to that ruck. And he is. So the elder statesman out there for Easts is given his marching orders, and he'll spend some time on the bin. Just coming in, high contact on Graham there, unnecessary. It's good pressure though, but just making that high contact, and Hobden decides that we won't have that, and it's probably as good a time as any after the fisticuffs that we saw earlier, just to take a little bit of heat out of the game, to cool things down a little bit. So East now will be playing with 14, but they really got their tails up. They'd love another try. They've held Taroona for the last about 20 minutes, I think. The early jump there is no good. This time Taroona finds Summerfield. That's no good. And the quick tap. Inglis, who's he got with him? He throws it to Suat. He goes the kick. That's not a bad idea, but Drysdale's out there, and he gets under it and gathers it beautifully. That ball held up in the wind. Taken in a nice tackle by Cooper from Taroona. And the cavalry for East gets back there. Now, Kiwi with the ball. He goes the kick and it's smothered. Taken by Clayton, who runs into the tackle. Taroona just getting a bit lazy at the breakdown here. Some good pressure from East. Oh, and Whitfield just coming in, getting a bit silly here. And now, Summerfield, first gamer, flicks a pass unnecessarily there. Well covered by Inglis, looks for somebody. Hammers the pass off to Cooper in the number 9. Dishes it off to Clayton. Suwat gets over it. Whitfield now coming over the top. Graham, he's elusive. He gets through. Looks like he's going to score. So after all the hard work down the other end from East in defence, oh, we might see Dupree spend 10 minutes as well. Graham just gave him a tap and said, yeah, nice, sarcastic tap, and said, yeah, nice chase. But throwing the ball back at the head of Graham sees Dupree given, and he's going to go back and fight with his teammates over it. Disappointing here from East. Disappointing. Dupree's played really well, and a little throw of the ball, not much in it, but again, there's no tolerance for that right now. And then he wants to fight his own players. So just capitulating down there at the Roosters' end of the field. Now they're down to 13 players. The passion was great at the start of this half, but it's just gone a little bit too far. And, the niggle from Taroona there, from Nat Graham, just to say, yeah, good one, mate, was just pushed Dupree over the line. And Holmes is going to take the kick. And he makes the points. The crowd seem pretty happy with that. But the try to Nat Graham and conversion to Holmes sees that lead extend now from Taroona, 47-5. They just need to regather themselves here and get their head back into playing some good rugby like they'd been doing at the start of this half. And the kick finds Nordstrom, who breaks the first tackle. Going to be some tired bodies out there, and he breaks through all of them. Eventually, Eddington grabs him and takes him to ground. Great work there, because Nordstrom would have been away. Now Clayton, just a bit of a shuffle to get back in field. And the ball from Inglis finds Fenny. Not probably where it was going. De Beer. Cooper. He's got a bit of space in front of him. He likes to straighten up. But that man, Fishpool, has made another tackle. He's just been an absolute tower in defence. Inglis goes blind. He's got Fenny and Hardy there. Fenny breaks through the tackles of Warren and Tamua. And he runs close to the posts and puts on another 5-pointer for the boys in blue. And the wheels may have come off for Easts. Just the exhaustion here. I think these players are tired. Fishpool's there, comes in. He's just worked so hard today as Kyle Fishpool. But Zach Warren and Tamua not able to get their hands on Fenny and stop him. And he's also been very good all day, has Fenny. So we'll see Holmes with another opportunity to put some more points on the board for his personal tally. Scored 2 tries and 1 conversion. And he also converts that one. I don't know if you can hear the crowd over there, but there's some support for Rob Holmes with his converting. I think it's possibly his brother over on the far side and a couple of others. Easts now, what have they got? Two on the naughty chairs at the moment, so they're going to be without those guys. Barry's probably got another 5 minutes, and Dupree probably another 8 minutes, 9 minutes. I don't think we might not see Dupree back on before the game ends. And Kiwi with the kick goes short. Has he made 10? He hasn't. Whitfield takes it. And we'll come back to the middle for a scrum. Taroona's feed. And a 13-man East are going to find it hard to defend against a set piece in the middle of the field. All right, just working out who's in the scrum. They decide that they're going to put 8 in there, I think. Fishpool, that's a good option, I think. Fishpool's just come into the halfback position. Puts him in a better position to be able to defend quickly, although he's going to be pretty exhausted. He's been everywhere. And look at the scrum push there from East. Ball's out. Inglis manages to get it. And great work there at the scrum from East. So putting the 8 men in was a good option. But Suwat kicks it through. And he sockered the next one and falls over under the very close supervision of the pink mohawk of Kyle Fishpool, who's just run and run and run. But Pun Suwat, he's played really well, been a solid contributor for Taroona, and he scores that one off his own good work. The chip through, he sees there's no one there. They're slow to get back because they're tired. He gets a little chip on, and Fishpool can't stop him. And another try comes to Taroona straight off that scrum in the middle of the field. Holmes with another opportunity to convert nice and close to the posts. And that one too is good. Taroona break the 60 mark like they did last week. I think the score last week against this East team was 65-7. So not far off that. Very similar outcome today. Be about 5 minutes, maybe a little more left to play. Ball will come back to the middle. And we'll see the Kiwi with the kick again. He's got some good chases out there. Whitfield's been really good and onto it, and wouldn't want to be catching it right in front of him. Drysdale gets up quickly, and some good contact made from Warren. Inglis comes in quickly, finds Clayton, who's been busy since he's been on this half. And look, they're over him, but they come off their feet. Taroona should get this one back. And it comes wide to Suat. He dishes the pass off, and De Beer ducks around a couple of tacklers. 3 of them, in fact. Starts to straighten up. He'll go around another one, and he does. He's got some support outside him in Clayton, who passes off, and Graham gets around the outside. He's away too. Is there any defence to catch him? No, they're not. We did see Drysdale come across in an attempt to tackle, and he's been pretty good too in his defence today. Good textbook tackling from him, but unable to stop the step back inside of Nat Graham. And now with only 13 on the field, the floodgates have opened, and Taroona put on another one. It's just a tough day at the office now for Easts. And there's a few of them off their feet. So some gifts here for Holmes with the conversions in front of the posts. Oh, he misses that one. And referee Hobden decides that that's it. So as we see full time on the clock, Taroona come away with a 66-5 victory over Easts and will retain the Farrington Shield. They've had it for a while now, so East will be hopefully getting that back, looking to get that back. They'll have to wait until next year though. And after a bit of fiery stuff going on in the middle of the game, we always see this. There's smiles and pats on backs as we shake hands and end the match. It was great to see East come out in the second half though, after being nearly 40 points down at half time. And they really threw everything into it. Scored a try, put Taroona back down on their line for a good 15 minutes at the start of the half. But after a little bit of ill discipline from a couple of players, really after defending for that whole first half as well, their tiredness came into it, and Taroona were able to run over the top of them in the last 15 minutes, particularly scoring pretty freely. So that's it for our matches today. There are some Premiership Division matches around the grounds that you'll be able to catch if you check out Rugby Explorer to keep an eye on the scores. But we'll see matches. Launceston playing Devonport at Royal Park in Launceston. Uni are playing Harlequins in the 90th year celebration or anniversary match for those two teams. There was a Golden Oldies match out there as well. Glenorchy will be playing Taroona out at Edie Street. That'll be an interesting one with the Thomas boys and the Glenorchy players who've switched over to them going out there. Aaron Lovell to play in their own ground, so it'll be interesting to see what happens out there. And the final match that you'll see this afternoon is between Burnie and Hobart, all the way up at Emu Park at Burnie, so that'll be a good one. Anyway, we'll see you next week, where we will be streaming live from Edie Street. We'll bring you the game between Glenorchy and Hobart Lions, but for now, that is out from me.